Now, this could just be me, but I don't think that Stryker was misused or had his potential thrown away and was relegated to the butt of many jokes. Mainly because I've always seen him as a villain instead of an anti-hero. And I think why people even saw him as such is because they missed some details in the Harvest Moon Festival. And I can't blame anyone for that because Stryker is very distracting, especially with Norman Reedus' voice.
I'll get him next time.
But let's get to the point. After his first appearance in the Harvest Moon Festival, the general idea that people had of him was that he's this revolutionary guy who's not happy with the system and oppression in hell, and so he decided to do something about it. I, however, couldn't fully see him that way because of these comments.
Plus, you little things ain't worth the cleanup. Relying on a weak lip.
You gonna finish that fucking sentence, partner?
Vermin.
It did not sit right with me that the guy who's supposedly fighting for the lower class would use demeaning terms to call his fellow imps, and even the way he was trying to get Blitz on his side.
You know, the two of us are superior than most of our kind.
I don't know about you, but I don't think it's okay for the supposed savior of the lower class to look down on them, whether it's because he's a hybrid or because most of the imps follow or work for other people instead of themselves is up for debate. But regardless, while I don't deny that his hatred towards the royal class is genuine, he's not exactly the anti-hero everyone made him out to be. Cause how could he be fighting against classism but also participate in it at the same time, you know? And not just that, even when he was convincing Blitz to join him and Blitz seemed to agree with him, he was still about to literally stab him in the back. And no, I don't think he called out his bluff since he seemed taken off guard when Moxie showed up. And heck, even his job is an assassin who specializes in killing royalty. But for who? Cause an average imp can't afford his services, so it's not like they can go to him to kill a Goetia who wronged them, which would be most of them. But other royals can. So all he ends up doing is helping the Goetias with their personal grievances. And I don't think he's changing anything since every Goetia in a position of power has a replacement. And they're not gonna be better. So he was never really fighting for the rights of imps and the lower class and was just killing royal demons for a living. You know, an assassin. And it's more evident in Western Energy. And side note, the episode got a lot of hate when it came out and I personally think it's unwarranted. And the episode is good. Yes, it's got issues, mainly the pacing and the weird cuts, but overall it's good. And the main issue that I keep hearing is that it ruined Stryker by turning him into a joke. But I think they were just parodying old Wild West movie tropes. And the reason Stolas wasn't taking Stryker seriously while he was torturing him was because he thought Blitz was coming to save him. So he put up a front to show that he's not deterred by him. And not because the show was mocking Stryker. But going back to the main point, while he was happy to torture and kill Stolas, he was still willing to spare him when Stella offered to double his pay. Cause if it was a matter of principle to him and not just about the money, he could have lied and told her he already killed him or something. Cause while he was upset about it, he didn't have to obey her and stop what he was doing if it's more than just a job to him. But I guess it's not, so money comes first. And I can't entirely blame him for it. It's hard enough being an imp, so it's good that he found a way to both make a living and shit on the royal class. But then comes Mastermind, and before this, I was still willing to sympathize with Stryker, cause even if he wasn't really trying to make a change, he, like the rest of imps, is still constantly getting screwed over by the upper classes in hell. But to testify falsely against a fellow imp for a bunch of royals just because he's holding a grudge against Blitz.
Shame on you!
And also, I guess Andrea Fez paid him presumably a lot, both because there's no way he would have done this for free, and because of his change of attire, especially if we look at it as a Wild West movie trope. His outfit looked old with some tears here and there, typical of the protagonist, who is normally an outlaw that will get redeemed by the end of the movie. But now his clothes are typical of the antagonist, specifically the corrupt rich kind, who, if I remember correctly, tries to screw the townspeople over somehow. And by the way, this is just me going off of memory, because I couldn't find much on this specific trope, and I already spent an hour or so researching this, and I refuse to spend more or use AI. Anyway, Mastermind made me think that Stryker's biggest flaw is that he is selfish. Too selfish to actually challenge the hierarchy in a meaningful way. But in any case, I do find it interesting. A sort of hypocrite rebel who's not willing to sacrifice anything for his cause. However, I do think that we will have a true revolutionary character in the show, and that would be Blitz, since that was already kinda established in Mastermind, so I'm sure that they'll bring it up again. Unless they completely ignore the classism in favor of relationship drama, like some other show. But I think Helluva is a lot more competent than that. It didn't really disappoint me so far, and I am curious to see how they'll handle it in the show. Since this is hell, so it's not like they'll completely abolish classism and turn it into a communist utopia. But I wonder if that means it won't be entirely solved. Like they'll get some rights, but it's still kinda bad. Like the real world. But I do think that they'll handle this well. Hopefully. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.